What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to be changing out a coolant temperature sensor in my 2001 Toyota Corolla. So just a little backstory. This car had a P0128 code. Basically, the coolant temperature sensor that was already in the car went bad and was sending a cold signal back to the computer. Now, I replaced the sensor in it already, but as I was watching the video last time, I just really didn't like how that video came out. Also, the sensor I replaced it with at first was a little aftermarket unit that was only $35 instead of $100 through Toyota. But what was going on there was I wasn't getting an accurate reading from my temp gauge. The needle would go up and it would go just beyond cold and then it would stop. Also, after a little bit of driving one night, the needle did kind of start heading up towards the middle. So at first I thought, okay, maybe I have an air bubble in there somewhere. But when I hooked up a no-spill funnel, turned the car on, turned the heater on, did all of that, I got absolutely nothing. I had it running for a good 10 minutes too. So then I thought, is it just not working with the car because it's an aftermarket sensor? I put the old one back in, and sure enough, that's exactly what it was. So $100 later, here we are starting from scratch. So we'll go ahead and start by disconnecting the negative battery terminal. There we go. Now, with this car, we got to remove the entire air intake housing. This car is going to be ready for a air filter in the near future. And with this car, there are 3 bolts in the housing holding it in. We'll go ahead and loosen those up. And here we go. Put this somewhere safe. And right down in here is that sensor we're going to be replacing. So we'll go ahead and reach down here and unplug it. There we go. And then this one loosens up with a 19mm socket. You'll also want an extension. Also, when you take that old sensor out, it's important that you're ready with the new one, because what's going to happen if you're not, coolant is going to come shooting out of here and it's going to get all over the place. So this would also be a good time to throw a drip bucket underneath the car just in case. So we'll go ahead and take our 19mm ratchet and socket, put it right here on the sensor, and then just loosen it up. And we hit a brick wall. I have the sensor. I don't have the washer that's supposed to come with it. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of irritated right now. Why would you sell something and not sell all the parts needed to fix the job or complete the job? You know, so now I gotta wait about 4 more days until I have a washer. So I guess we're picking this up in a few days. But yeah, I'm not happy at all. So that's what we're up against. I will catch you in a few days. Alright, so we are back. I got the part and we are now able to finish the job. Just annoying though. I really didn't want this video to take a negative turn like that, but that needed to be called out. $100 for this, and you can't even include the parts needed to complete the job? Yeah, that really kind of had me mad that day. Toyota, shame on you. So, right here is the sensor we're going to be pulling out. And remember, the way they have this set up, or even just in general, you got to be ready with the new part, because what's going to happen when I pull this old sensor out, coolant is just going to come shooting out. So we'll go ahead and loosen this up. And now that that's loose, you can pull it out by hand. And then quickly get that new one in. There we go. And then go ahead and plug it in. There we go. And now we are ready to put the air intake housing back in and reconnect the battery, and after that we're pretty much done. And here is the old one, and is it really any wonder why this thing gave up the ghost? I mean, look how bad this thing looks. Here's a picture of the old one compared to the new one. But yeah, this old one looks like it has some rust, and if you're wondering what that washer is for, it's to help it create a seal and not leak. Kind of like the washers for your drain bolt when you change the oil. But now to put the air intake housing back in, which is the opposite of everything you did when you pulled it out, so. And here we go. The battery's even been reconnected, so now let's start the car and see what happens. And so far so good. Now let's check the sensor itself. Make sure it's not leaking. And it's as dry as a bone. And the temperature gauge seems to be doing what it's supposed to do, so reset your clock and radio and call this job done. And don't forget, new videos every Sunday. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Also make sure you hit that bell so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys next week.